over the world. The International 2018 WWTDA Playoffs, live from Atlanta, Georgia, brought to you by the Women's Flat Track Derby Association and the Atlanta Roller Girls. I'm Sweet Willie T, and I'm here with...
Dork Mistress.
And tonight, or this afternoon, and you know what, we're just going to stick with this afternoon. Everybody knows that it's afternoon here, so we'll stick with that. We are going to see the Windy City Rollers, seed number 9 from Chicago. They will be taking on the seed number 11 team, Ann Arbor Brawl Stars. That's a tough one to say. Brawl Stars. The Brawl Stars from Ann Arbor, Michigan. They came in at a number 11. And both teams we had the chance to see yesterday. I think this is going to be an extremely close matchup. But first, let's make sure we know who is going to be on the roster today, because I know everybody out there, fans of these teams, want to see who's going to be skating.
So skating for Ann Arbor today, we have number 2 for Tushbag, 1111 Lesianez, 14 Sonic Boom, 187 Slamlet, 1870 Betty Lockdown, 24 Jadzia Smacks, 31 The Hammer, 44 Helen Killer, 62 Fracture Mechanics, 63 Jackie O'Bashes, 7 Mel Havelka, 811 Teramisu, 84 Dr. Mainzu, 886 Scream, and 99 Inzy Mood.
And the Windy City Rollers will be skating in the black jerseys today with a little bit of white accent, and there's probably some red in there as well. They are number 1111 Kate and Destroy, number 116 Ren Lavick, number 140 Shake and Bake, number 17 Mia Goham, 192 Habeas Corpus, number 20 Corpses, number 24 Regina Spector, 312 Ashley Perrin, number 451 Animalie, number 5 Entropy, number 504 Phoebe 54 Thumb, number 511 Shook Smacks. They took our roster away from us. 622 is Kimmy Lauper, number 75 Molly Fannin, 77 Isabel Alendia, number 8 Rita Hateworthy.
So as you said, we've seen these two teams today. Ann Arbor gave a very strong showing against Sun State yesterday, pushing them really hard to let Sun State have that win. They had to work really, really hard. Windy City?
Well, the same thing. Windy City, we when we saw them yesterday taking on Bay Area, sorry, let me get my notes here.
I think they took on Rat City.
They took on Rat City, yes.
Yep. There's been many games already.
I've got Bay Area in the mind because of the last game we just saw. But yeah, they took on Rat, and we didn't know what to expect a lot because we hadn't seen Chicago, the team from Chicago, or Windy City Rollers in the playoffs for the last 3 years. They've been through some rebuilding. They came back, and they looked very, very strong, and they gave Rat a real run for their money. And it was great to see because Windy City, being in the playoffs so many years, what did you say, from 2006 to 2014?
They were at champs, and then they've been at playoffs for the last 3 years. But I think both teams, we gave a really good account of themselves in that first game that they played yesterday, and made what should have on paper look like easy wins really hard wins for their opposition.
Exactly, and we were talking in the in the meetings beforehand about bracket busters. Everybody's talking about bracket busters, and both these teams were involved in those conversations that hey, Windy City's made a ton of improvement. Rat's going to be in tough. That's exactly what we saw. And then the Ann Arbor, we didn't know a lot about Sun City coming in because we felt are they overranked? We haven't seen much of them. They proved that they were doing great, but boy, did Ann Arbor look solid.
And we didn't know what to expect from Ann Arbor. The only other team here that they'd played previously was Queen City.
Right.
And Windy City hadn't played anybody except Queen City since 2015. But that's the whistle to start the game. So just as we, so both teams were a bit unknown. Both gave a really good game yesterday. So today, this should be an absolute cracker.
Yes, and right on the money. Here we go. Ashley Perrin for Windy City against Helen Killer for Ann Arbor. Of course, Ann Arbor in the white with the blue accents, and the exact opposite would be Windy City in the black. Ashley Perrin pushing to the front, looking for the outside line, does not get it, whistles, blows somebody's off the penalty box, and unfortunately it is Helen Killer, and Windy City will start off with a power jam.
But we're still, almost 30 seconds into this jam, and Ashley Perrin hasn't been able to break through his lead, and that's a dynamic fluid walling coming in from Ann Arbor, but able to reform in this very scrappy pack. Windy City trying to give offense all over the place and unable to get Ashley Perrin through.
That's right. They've given her some room. She's gotten to the backstretch, but she gets knocked out of bounds, and she's going to have to face that four-wall yet again. She's got that offensive help, but you're right, Dork Mistress. It's not being that effective. Finally getting through, but she's 53 seconds into this jam, and
Yeah.
Helen Killer's out of the box.
Absolute penalty kill there by Ann Arbor, and that's really well done by them and in this first jam.
Right, you don't want to take that jammer penalty in the first jam of the game, but if you do, that's how you handle it.
Yep.
You tighten up that defense. In fact, Ashley's getting cycled back again, and she's going to have to take another run at that pack. I think she will get her full 4 points as she calls it off. But what a great victory for Ann Arbor after that slip up early.
Yep.
And she only gets 3. So
yep.
Great penalty kill for Ann Arbor. Quick rundown of our referees while we got the chance. We got too busy talking about a bunch of things. I'll do our referees first, and we'll talk about our NSOs a little later. Bambi Lance, Duke Skellington, Alan Your Grill, Will Tweeton, Viva la Evolution. He's one of my refs, so I can say that. Landon Flat, Silence of the Jams, and Major Wood.
So we're back on track.
Mia Goham against Fatoushbag. And Fatoushbag pushing that wall forward, but sneaking through on the inside with Mia Goham, another lead jam for Windy City.
I think Ann Arbor unable to form a wall in that scrum of a pack, which let Mia go ham through, but both jammers are out.
Oh, she bounced off a couple blockers there, kept that left skate inbounds, and she's through for her scoring pass. That'll be a 5-pointer, and Fatoushbag still struggling coming out of turn number 2. And the wall has set up nicely in front of Mia Goham. She's going to get a little bit of help there from her defensive blockers who were trying to stop Fatoushbag, but able to play a little bit of offense. She gets her points, calls it off. We'll see how many fingers go in the S. It's going to be, we only got 3 on that last one, but a nice 8-point jam, 11-0 Windy City with 27 minutes to go.
And so we've had 3 jams, and Ann Arbor unable to put any points on the scoreboard at this stage, which is a bit of a surprise, because actually if you look at the play, you would have thought they would have been able to, but I think it's that the Ann Arbor defense hasn't been strong enough in these first 3 jams. I want to see them sharpen up and be able to stick together a bit more, and I think we'll see a bit of a change.
Yeah, they just seem to be a little bit out of sync. Shake and bake for Windy City, the hammer for Ann Arbor. And shake and bake, push to the inside, bounce to the outside. Oh, and the shake and bake, the hammer had a little bit of room, but got cycled back and then knocked down very, very hardly by Sugar Smacks. And shake and bake is through.
That was a great chase out by that blocker, but unable to stay in, which would have caused that recycle.
And there's that little bit of out of sync by the blockers for Ann Arbor. They're giving her some room. Now, nicely, there was number 62 there that was able to pull back and stop shake and bake for a second, but she's got her points, 5 on the board, and a drawback for the hammer, who has taken the star and put it into her hand.
And that's a big recycle back for the hammer. It was a good quarter of the track. And that's just going to suck time up. And in these first few minutes, Windy City establishing dominance by scoring the points and shutting out Ann Arbor is going to have a real psychological effect for the first probably half of this game.
That's right. And she has passed the star to Fracture Mechanics for Ann Arbor. So Fracture going to try and put some pressure on Shake and Bake. Bake gets bounced to the inside and out of bounds. Look back, sees Mechanics and calls it off. But the damage is already done, Dork Mistress.
Yeah. And they are in a quite dominant position in these first 3 jams. Only 3 jams, it feels like.
It does feel like more,
yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
I think it was that penalty that started things off. We had that long jam.
So if you look at that replay, in that case, it was Windy City that were able to stay in track and force that full recycle.
Yeah, and that's why they got 11 points instead of, say, 6 points in that jam. Number 77 for Windy City, Isabel Alendia against Leslie Arnaz.
And that's a proper scrum pack coming now to the apex.
And that's how Leslie gets through, and she is lead for first time for Ann Arbor. And Isabel struggling a little bit in the backstretch. Leslie ready to enter the pack for her scoring pass. Oh, and she just got knocked out of bounds. That was great presence, trying to see which blocker that was that knew she had stepped out. That was 75 Molly Fannin. Fantastic job on the recycle. However, Ann Arbor does get some points on the board with 4.
First points on the board. They'll be relieved to see that. Just a quick chance to talk about Quad Skate Shop. Community orientated like no other. Quad Shop is passionate about getting what you want faster, cheaper and friendlier. Check us out in store or online at quadrollerskateshop.com.
There was Isabel Allende on that replay with that nice move down the inside line. The first time they ever really got that wall situated, and it worked well for their jammer. Helen Killer against Ashley Perry. Killer right up the center of that pack. One to beat, and she's got her in the backstretch. Ashley Perry, your lead jammer.
We're just seeing very scrappy packs at the moment. Lots of people moving around, lots of argy-bargy, not necessarily a clear strategy. And the jammers, especially Windy City, are just taking huge advantage from that.
They are, definitely. And Ashley Perry there with a great apex jump. She had to look back just to make sure it was all good and legal, but she threw for the 5 with a little bit of flair.
And I think Ann Arbor jammers are having to work hard. They are having to push out every jam out to the front with the Windy City blockers.
That's right, and it's going to, you can see that taking its toll as this game goes on. 9-point jam for Windy City. They've had a number of multi-pass jams now to get that 31-4 lead. Here's that apex jump, beautifully done, and she probably felt her wheel hit the edge of the track, a little bump of the track. That's why she looks back. Yep, nobody's
blowing whistles. I did a good thing.
That's right. That was a great. Talk about using the edges of the track. Jam number 5 will be Mia Goham against Fatouche Bag. And Fatouche works the inside line, runs into Ham, and kind of pushes her through the pack. Now Fatouche gets caught up.
And again, it's a split up, disorganized, scrappy pack. I'm not quite sure what to call it, but we're not seeing the defense that we've seen in other games during this tournament. I think it's probably the scrappiest defense on both sides.
You're right.
That I've watched all weekend.
And it's definitely working in Windy City's favor. And you'll see that sometimes. So 4-point jam for Mia Goham. That was a little bit, we saw that in the Bay Area game, late in the Bay Area game yesterday, where they eventually just kind of started going one-on-one with the Queen City skaters just to get it scrappy and break it up, because they felt that they could win those kinds of packs, and that's exactly what they were able to do.
Quick thank you to Atom Skates. Savant wheels by Atom. Light, fast, and responsive. Everything you look for in a wheel.
Shake and bake against the Hammer. Hammer knocked down immediately in that pack. Shake and bake working the outside line. She's got 2 to beat. They're trying to recover and bridge that out. That pack has gotten very, very lengthy here. She's got 3 in front of her. Luckily, the Hammer able to get back in and get the pack a little more together. And a nice knockout. I believe that was number 1870. Betty Lockdown with the jammer takeout on the inside, and then on the outside, both jammers struggling here, Dork Mistress.
And I think actually they've been listening to us, because this jam you can see much more traditional sort of 3-wall defense, actually able to keep the pack speed down and actually keeping the defense together. And that held up the jammers longer than we've seen so far this game.
That's right, and it worked in Ann Arbor's favor. And with a nice little hop, skip, and jump, a beautiful apex jump, the Hammer gets 4 points. But you saw that where it's almost like Ann Arbor needs that time to set up. And when it's too scrappy in the beginning, you get it all just combobulated.
They don't know what to do.
Right, Windy City takes advantage of it. In this case, it sets up. They get the jam. They get the lead jam.
And you can just see here that was really strong, solid defense, and it held the jammers up longer. So, if everybody listened to me as much as they clearly are, we'd be grand.
We could change the game. We could help both teams, and we're just trying to get a close game here. Leslie Arnaz against Isabel Allende. I'm trying to say that with the proper accent, but I'm a little marble mouth this morning. Elizabeth Allende to the front of the pack for Windy City. Still struggling in the back of the pack. We got Leslie Arnaz to the front of the pack. She is through. Allende around the outside with 2 to beat. Oh, nice the way she slipped inside both those blockers. However, that was down
to sheer speed. She had the speed and the momentum and outpaced those blockers.
That's right. They had no time to set up, and she just kind of sidestepped one, and then the second one came across, and you're right, momentum just carried her through.
And I think that probably highlights Ann Arbor. It's not that they're discombobulated, it's just they're not able to get together quick enough. That decision making on what do I need to do is taking them a beat longer than it's taking Windy City. And so that's kind of why we are where we are. Most games, it's about the defense. It's not about the jammers. We've had some games this tournament that's been about offense, but this game, at the moment, it's about defense.
That's right. Now, nice job is Tara Misu. First time we've seen her on the jammer line. She burst through and engaged that wall immediately, but it is set up nicely by Windy City, and now you see that fragmentation and a little bit of offense by Windy City gets Ashley Perrin through for another lead. Working on the outside line is Tiramisu. Tiramisu just went out of the screen. Ashley Perrin crashing the wall, spinning. Nice job. Seal off the inside. Betty locked down. We've seen her do that a couple of times, then push to the outside. Perrin tries to work that. Dork.
But this is better from Ann Arbor. Much happier about watching that defense. That's what I've been waiting to see. That they're able to stick together, but also split up and move around other players and then reform. And I think we haven't seen that as much. So yes, good work, Ann Arbor.
Yeah, and that's exactly because how many multi-pass jams did we have by Windy City? That was only a 3-point jam.
Yeah.
Because you'll see after Perrin gets through, Ann Arbor turned quickly, set up, they were ready for it.
Yeah.
Jam number 9 with 18 minutes, 23 seconds to go. Mia Goham against Helen Killer. Mia Goham trying to push that wall forward, but set up nicely by Ann Arbor. And going down the inside, however, she's just slipped inside those blocks, and Mia Goham is your lead jammer. Helen Killer, she's able to get a bit of help there. Beautiful block down the backstretch offensively by Fracture Mechanics. But Mia Goham entering the pack on her scoring pass and just a little mini apex jump. Pack picks up speed nicely, though. And great job by Ann Arbor to control that pack speed. See how many points they end up getting there. Only 2. Excellent.
Yeah. And so in these last 2 or 3 jams, Ann Arbor's defense has woken up, and the impact has been to minimize those multi-pass jams. Even you can see in the replay here just how quickly the Ann Arbor wall got back together and were able to do that hit out and recycle.
And they did it at speed. That was a great decision as they went into turn number 3 to pick up speed, but they didn't get fragmented. They built it when they needed. Only gave up 2 points. Fatouche Bag against Shake and Bake. Fatouche knocked back, drawn into turn number 2, and Shake and Bake uses a little bit of her namesake. Well, we see it'll be no pass, no penalty. She's not your lead, but she's through first.
I think we could all see on the outside that one.
Oh, look at Fatouche Bag just kind of tiptoeing on the outside. She stepped out of bounds but came back in because nobody was watching her and burst through, so she's through. But Shake and Bake down the inside. Looks back, sees Fatouche coming, calls it off.
You're absolutely right. I don't think anybody realised that Fatouche was coming up on the outside because, and that surprised me. It's like, did they think that there was going to be a recycle?
Right. And she stepped out, and I think if you watch in slow motion, we won't say there's that great move there on the block.
Yeah.
But she looks back, great presence.
Because the pack went forward, because you would have thought normally a jump that far forward and hit out, you'd have to recycle, but the pack moved, and very, very smart cookie.
Yes, exactly. 41-12, Windy City in the lead. The Hammer pushing to the front into turn number 1, facing that tripod. Nice job by Windy City right now. They're not only bridging, they did tried to play a little bit of offense there, but knocked out of bounds is Ayendia. Isabel Ayendia cycled back to the pivot line, but that Windy City defense, Hammer gets a little bit of help up there from number 187 Slamlet, but not helping enough.
No.
Oh, there you go with a great hit. Still locked down though.
Yeah, I think the Slamlet isn't able to provide enough offense for the Hammer to get through, and the rest of the team can't come in and help because they're playing defense against Isabel Ayendia. So tough position for Ann Arbor, but
Hammer makes it work eventually, and a lot of that goes to the Ann Arbor blockers. There was just 2 of them going at it with Ayendia, and they were able to hold her back while the Hammer just kept pounding away at that wall. Hammer, beautiful.
And again, a bit of misdirection, and Windy City, again, didn't notice where the Ann Arbor jam was. That's the second jam in a row that they've just had that momentary loss of concentration.
That's right, and Ann Arbor taking advantage of it. And this is going to be their first multi-point, multi-pass jam. Wow, and Hammer really made them pay on that backstretch. Rita Hateworthy has taken the star as the pivot. She's caught up in the wall, though, in turn number 3. And Hammer, coming around for a third pass, splits the first 2. Oh, and beautiful, just bounced off one of her offensive players. And there's another 5 points for Ann Arbor.
Ginormous jam for Ann Arbor. Just as big as that hit was.
I was going to say, Loren Lavick makes her pay at the end of that one. Windy able to squeeze 5 out of that. Nice job. But for Ann Arbor, their first multi-pass jam, that's what they needed. It's now 46-28.
Yeah, they needed the sort of momentum shift
There was that one, that
Yeah.
misdirection.
Yeah. And that, you know, second January, they keep doing that. You know, Windy City are falling for it.
Yeah. Might as well keep at it. 1-1-1-1-1, Leslie Arnaz. I owe her a few ones, I think, from the introductions. So I'm going to throw a couple extra in there. She's for Ann Arbor. Ashley Parent for Windy City. Leslie Arnaz running into that 3 wall. Looks like Parent, she did get knocked down, one of her blockers did. However, Parent takes the penalty, looking for the signal. There's a forearm penalty. So it's a power jam for Leslie Arnaz and Ann Arbor.
And that's what Ann Arbor are going to want to build on after that last jam, is to get the momentum of lead, have the control of the jam, score some more points, try and shrink that gap a little bit, and that momentum switch will give them the confidence.
Yeah, exactly. That's especially on this power jam. And Leslie almost had it in that backstretch. She passed 3 out of the 4. We'll see if she, or 4 out of the 5, I believe. She'll get 4. I'm sure she would have liked more, but still, that control, a little bit of momentum, all those things you mentioned we saw in that jam, 46-32.
And, you know, at the moment, it doesn't matter if Ann Arbor close this down 4 points by 4 points, just as long as they can keep getting lead and closing that gap down. So, you know, it's now a 14-point game, whereas probably 5 minutes ago it was a 30-point game.
That's right, and they were only scoring 4 points per jam, and it really looked like it was getting out of control. Ashley Parent still sitting in the penalty box, so Helen Killer with the power start. Parent's out back on the track. She engages that 4 wall of, or now a 3 wall, as one of their blockers heads to the quad skate shop penalty box, and Ashley Parent out of the box, making you pay. You got to get through. You want a power start, you still got to take advantage of that and get through quickly. So Killer for Ann Arbor.
And this is excellent defense from Windy City.
Yeah.
Being able to hold back Helen Killer. A lap of the track now.
That's right. She took the star off. One of the Windy City blockers getting sent to the box after knocking her out. There's a star pass. That was a beautiful one. Quick star pass. Dr. Mainju has it, but Ashley Parent is going to continue pushing this jam. And I wonder if they're going to say, all right, let's see what the pivot's got as a jammer.
But I think the key thing is there's only 2 Windy City blockers on track, so that's going to make it more difficult.
Yes, and Mainju did a great job at the inside to get the points. Parent knocked to the outside, looks back, spies, calls it off. So they tried to run it a little bit. I think that's what Ashley Parent was looking at the coach saying, hey, but I got to give a lot of credit to Dr. Mainju as the pivot, taking advantage of those 2 blockers, only 2 blockers that were out there. So there's Killer. Oh, body's flying everywhere. Wow, she stepped into that hit.
Yeah, that was number 75, Molly Fannin.
Yes.
Oh.
Some of you may remember her as Bork Bork Bork. And she has been laying those hits down for a long time in this league. She saw that coming a mile away. Fatouche Bag, however, now at the front of the pack, getting a little bit of help, chipping off one blocker, but great recovery there to lock her down. Mia Goham now looking for some offensive help from number 24, but not getting it just yet. Fatouche is through, and I believe that she's not lead. Yeah, she is lead. I thought for a second there that she got a no pass, no penalty. And Ann Arbor with a chance to close that gap just a little bit more as Mia Goham, still struggling a little bit, has taken the helmet cover off, waving it around wildly. I don't know if she's looking for her pivot or just trying to get her arms through. But Fatouche Bag with 5 on the board. She's got 1 to beat. Oh, nice offensive seal-off block, and she's got 10.
But the Windy City haven't got a blocker on track, so there isn't a chance for a star pass. And I think Mia Goham is regretting that right now.
That's right, yes. A lot of jammers will immediately go to that and become a star stash because they've truly got no one to pass to.
And Fatouche Bag now on 4th scoring pass, and it just shows how important that star pass is.
Phoebe Fifo Foam has taken it, and Fatouche Bag wants 1 more pass. Oh, what? Jay, this completely sealed off that outside line. And I tell you what, there's going to be an official timeout here because Phoebe Fifo Foam came flying into that pack, and I wonder if they're going to be asking for some points there. We'll see.
I'm just checking the hand signal, and it's definitely a timeout for Windy City.
55 points for Ann Arbor on that 19-point jam. Wow, just what the doctor ordered.
And the bench coach for Windy City preempted me. I was about to say, if I was Windy City, I would call it timeout now, and that's exactly what they've done.
So they're not just listening to you anymore, Dark Mistress, they're actually in your head and hearing your thoughts.
They're channeling me. They're
wow.
channeling me.
That's
So
impressive.
having a quick look at the penalties just came up. As you can see, nobody really with any story to tell. So we've only got 9 minutes left in this period, and there's only one player that has 2 penalties. There's a number of players on 1, but that's a very clean game.
Yeah, Ann Arbor with 5 total penalties. And you look at it, Helen Killer's got 1 as a jammer in that first, and that was in the very first jam. So
Windy City with 60% of the lead jams in this game so far, and that probably reflects the play really well.
yes.
So it's just that Ann Arbor have been able to really capitalise on lead in these last 2 or 3 jams, closing it to a 4-point game.
Yeah, finally really settling things down. We saw it first with the defense, getting together and being able to stop Windy City. Habeas Corpus against the hammer. Habeas Corpus through. There's your lead in turn number 2 in her first jam. Hammer trying to take the star off her helmet. She gets it off, but gets recycled back at the same time. Corpus to the front, but the Ann Arbor defense able to form and kind of keep her trapped on the inside line. She's going to have to dig in and push forward. She's pushing the wall to the outside, trying to get some inside room there to cut through, and that's exactly what she does. Backwards on one skate. And Corpus.
I think one of the other things that I've talked a lot about this weekend is blocking to the line.
Yes.
Oh, so important. And that was an example of why, just as Habeas Corpus makes it through and calls that jam.
Yes, and she did a great job because she got trapped on the inside, so she pushed the wall and made them almost forget about that inside line, and then use it to her advantage. And Windy City, there's a lot of hugs. They're enjoying that, and here we see how she did that. She locks into that 3 wall, and a hard hit there.
So quick chance to thank S1 Helmets. The S1 Lifer helmet, best fit and superior protection, made for roller derby. Get a lifer, be a lifer.
Shake and bake for Windy City against Leslie Arnaz. And shake and bake, facing that 3 wall back by the jammer line, trying to push it forward. Very active Leslie Arnaz, but gets bounced to the inside. And shake and bake goes to the penalty box. Leslie sees that, comes back in quickly, tries to cut to the inside. She's got 2 to beat, now 3. Great job by Windy City to recover after that jammer penalty.
And Ann Arbor with that goat of number 111, Kate and Destroy at the back.
And there it worked, right? Yeah, they had to let her go. So Leslie Arnaz on this power jam through fairly quickly. They set up a bit of offense there, it looks like.
And now getting the offense up front. That's smart tactics from the Ann Arbor pack. But Windy City able to reform in front of Leslie Arnaz.
Yeah, Sugar Smacks, great job. She tried to hit that blocker initially, missed, but got immediately back into the pack to make that turn 2 wall into a 3 wall. Shake and bake out of the box and flying down the backstretch. Leslie Arnaz finally calls it off. She was in a bit of a one-on-one battle there with the pivot from Windy.
But I think Ann Arbor there didn't see Shake and Bake come back.
Yeah.
And so that's why she was able to get through so quickly and force that call off. But still 5 crucial points for Ann Arbor.
8-point differential, 68-60 with 6 minutes, 55 seconds to go.
Quick thank you to Bont. Lighter, stronger, faster. The original carbon fiber boot. Go to bont.com.
Mia Go Ham against Sonic Boom. Love that name.
There's so many good names this weekend.
There really is.
Makes me wish I could have a different skate name every week.
Well, that'd be fun. And, whoa, Mia Go Ham. Oh, nails that apex jump. She's your lead jammer. But here comes Sonic Boom. Bounced off a block. She's got 1 to beat. And she's through as well. But I think Mia Go Ham with a chance here to pick up some quick points. And Ann Arbor drives her to the outside. She looks back, trying to find Sonic Boom. Couldn't for a while, and Boom crashed that wall, and I wonder if she's going to steal a point. Because there was quite a collision in the backstretch.
No, that's no points, I think, for either team in that jam, which is a testament to the Ann Arbor blockers.
It really is. Because Mia Go Ham got through there so quickly.
So that is a back block penalty, which has been issued to Ann Arbor. Well, we can't see the penalty box rail. It looks like the Ann Arbor jammer has gone to the box for that back block. Yes. And that would be that collision at the end of the jam that you were talking about.
Right, it was just to the right edge of the screen as we were focused on Diego Ham, and you saw the bodies go flying.
So in this official timeout, a shout out to Rydell Skates, proud sponsor of the 2018 WFTDA Playoffs and Championships. Personally, I'm very grateful I get to be here and see these amazing games, so thank you, Rydell Skates.
And there's our penalty clock. It has picked up a little bit, but still, we've got 2 skaters and only 2 on 2 penalties with 6 minutes to go in this one. And we'll see here, there's Sonic Boom right at the right side in front of the penalty box.
Yeah.
And yeah, she was, I think there she knew the jam was getting called off because actually Diego Ham was, I think, struggling to find her to see when she could call it back. She was looking back. And Sonic Boom just thought, all right, I'll try to steal these points, but sadly the back block got her. It'll be a power start, power jam, full 30 seconds for Windy City on this one.
Which gives us a quick chance to thank Atom Skates. New full skate packages at great prices and something for every budget.
Including the beautiful backdrop that we have here. Huh?
I always want to take them home with me because then I can just reenact my favourite weekends by sitting in front of them and getting, pretending to commentate.
Exactly. Get the game up on the screen off the archives and relive it all over again. You can get me on the phone. I'll dial in and we can call the game all over again.
Or I could put it up on Twitch and people could interact with us. Pretend like it's the official WFTDA Twitch games.
That's right.
I mean, it wouldn't be, but
no. We need a lot of trouble for that, I think. Got some sort of copyright. But wait, we did the original game. So the official timeout continues here, and they were looking at the points. We've got some clarification of points happening over at the scorers table. There will be 3 for Windy City to make it 71-60. Of course, Diego Ham had she'd engaged the pack, but then she'd stopped and looked back, trying to find Sonic Boom, and I think the question probably was how many had she passed before that back block occurred. Sonic Boom in the box, Ashley Perrin on the power jam, complete with power start, and she makes quick work of the defense around the outside, and she's on her scoring pass.
But it is Windy City with less blockers on the track, fewer blockers on the track, before I get picked up with my grammar, fewer blockers on the track, and doesn't hold Ashley Perrin back.
That's right. And Ashley Perrin, a longtime standout jammer, she can deal with those. She's got a lot of tools in that toolbox that she can pull out as far as moves and speed and power. Ann Arbor has to set up there. Now they finally done. They set it up in turn number 2. They were able to recycle her back. You see Sonic Boom out of the penalty box.
I'm pushing hard out front. Can't quite see in this shot, but is out of the pack.
She has the star in hand. Looks like she's putting it back on her helmet. But Ashley Perrin sees her, calls it off. And again, you got to give credit there, I think, to Ann Arbor. 10 points, okay, 2 passes. However, Sonic Boom coming out. You see jammers, they're upset what happened at the end of that jam. They took that penalty, they put their team down, they come out and they maybe get a little too aggressive. But Sonic Boom kept it clean, got through, put the pressure on Perrin, kept it to 10 points.
Yeah.
Don't want those jammer penalties to snowball. We've seen it a couple times in this tournament where jammers get put back in the box a second time and that really let things go away. Isabel Allende against Helen Killer. A little bit of debris on the track.
And that was a big hit to Helen Killer, putting her to her knees. But again, we're back to a scrappier pack.
And Allende ran into Molly Fannin, but then took a penalty, a back block. She kind of bounced off Fannin and engaged into the Ann Arbor wall and took the back block. So Killer now on a power jam. Of course, Allende was the lead jammer, so we're going to go the full 2 minutes deep in this first half. Killer knocked out of bounds, cycled back. Molly Fannin at the center of that. Knocks her into another blocker, but she's able to find a little bit of room on the outside.
That was one of the best offensive positioning and offensive blocks I've seen in a long time. Just absolutely in the perfect place to open that up for Helen Killer.
That's right. You don't even have to make contact when you get into that position. It's going to throw off the opposing blocker. So Killer with 5, a 3 wall moving forward. Killer drops her shoulder in it, tries to push it forward. It's anchored right now by number 8. But Down the inside line. Whoa! And she almost went on about. I thought for a second she was getting called a penalty as Hyendia was heading to the outside line.
That was a Windy City blocker picking up a multiplayer block penalty. There was a lot of blockers in that word sentence.
A lot of blockers on the track. Killer around the outside, tries to tiptoe, but runs into the opposing jammer, and they both go to bounds and recycle back. Of course, we're going another 20 seconds on this one. Ellen Killer to the front against Spectre. Down the inside, kept their 1 foot, dangled it over that inside line, and kept in there. So now Ann Arbor with 13 on this jam. Hyendia through the pack. With 4 seconds to go, she can sneak in a couple more points here. Killer can. Oh, I can't wait to see where this one's going to end up. Well done for Ann Arbor, a 17-point jam with 2 minutes to go. And we got a 12-point differential, Dork Mistress.
I think Windy City have been putting in some big jams thinking that they can open this gap up, but Ann Arbor every time come back and close that gap back up again. And Helen Killer doing a fantastic job in that jam of closing that gap back up. So it's still to a 12-point game.
That's right. It's Windy City with a lot of control early on in this one, but Ann Arbor has got it together. And Fatouche Bag there, she is their #1 jammer. She's through. I don't know if she's the lead scoring today, but she's the leading scorer this season for Ann Arbor. We'll get you the stats on today. And Fatouche into the pack. Oh, when she just went down, she had a bit of room there and one blocker to beat. Shake and bake. Still struggling, knocked out, back in. You see her number 140 on the left of the screen just went through as we back out the shot a little bit. You can see we've got 2 separate walls going on, and there goes Fatouche Bag. She's through for 5 more with 1:22 to go. It's a 5-point game. If Fatouche can get through here, we could end up a tie.
6-point game.
6-point game. Math again.
But we've got time for 2 passes, so we could have a lead change.
But still, I gotta love the way Ann Arbor is held into this one.
But also how strong Windy City have been holding back Fatouche Bag on this pass. I mean, almost killing that lead down. And Fatouche Bag doesn't even clear the pack and goes, I have to call it now.
Right. And a lot of credit to Ann Arbor there because they had held back Shake and Bake for so long. But, oh, look at this start. Tiptoeing down the side, and then that move.
Beautiful.
Oh, and you gotta feel for number 504, Phoebe Fifo Fum. I mean, she just got caught. She did not expect that inside dodge, and she just kind of reached out and tried to yank on her a little bit on the jersey as she was going by. Fatouche Bag, incredible acceleration laterally. The hammer versus Mia Go Ham. Mia Go Ham getting a little bit of room as one of the blockers get chipped off. Molly Fannin up there helping out, playing some offense. Mia Go Ham down the inside. She's through, and Fannin with 2 offensive blocks on that move.
And following up on that last jump, Fatouche is the #1 point scorer, which shouldn't really be any surprise at this stage.
Oh, and we're going to get a back block penalty on Mia Go Ham, and the hammer down by 3 has a chance here to take the lead for Ann Arbor on this final jam. Of course, we're going to go the full 2 minutes because Mia Go Ham was the lead.
And the period clock has come to an end, but we still have 1:17 on the jam clock, so every chance for Ann Arbor to take the lead going into half-time.
But look at that 4 wall. Molly Fannin doing a fantastic job. Facing her now, spinning around. She's being helped there by, I think that is number 8, Rita Hateworthy.
Well, hashtag blocker goals.
Yes, right there. And that's been I think that you could do that for all of Molly Fannin's career as one of the top blockers in the league in the WFTDA for such a long time, and showing us there, down the inside straight, Mia Go Ham, the burst of speed, she's through, and we're just going to go back and forth. Both jammers able to score points, but right now, the hammer struggling the most, finally able to get through Molly Fannin, 1 to beat, but Mia Go Ham spinning, and looked back and saw that she had stepped out of bounds. How close was that to a track out?
Really, really, really close. I think everybody was drawing in breath, but the hammer taking advantage of that confusion over who's where that was in the pack to skate through on the inside.
And it is a lead on the screen, but Mia Go Ham has not had her points counted yet because she did not get all the way through the pack.
But the hammer also on another scoring pass, so it is going to be, let's see. I'm excited.
There it is.
So the halftime scores 93 to Windy City and a lead change in the last jam to Ann Arbor. Oh,
And there's the final 3 for Windy City, so 3-point. But
Yeah.
when you think of how this one started, and Windy City taking that lead quickly and really owning the first quarter of that of
they
the,
were
of the
like
game.
20-0 or something.
Right.
Yeah, and Ann Arbor just needed that first few minutes to work out what they were going to do, because we saw that. We just saw that they just weren't snapping together enough. And then have actually not just come back into the game, but the last 5-10 minutes have been in control.
In control, exactly. And looking at there was a quick view of the penalties. Not much to say there. It's been very clean. Really, we got 1 skater on 3.
Yeah. So that's been an absolutely thrilling first half.
You know, and we were talking about that. We expected it.
Yeah.
I got a little worried with Windy City and the way Ann Arbor was really struggling early. And now, 3-point, big deal, 3-point game. That reminds me of the London Atlanta game last night. After all that action at halftime, it was a 2-point differential, and I think that was one of, definitely I think the best game yesterday. So maybe we got the best game here today.
And I think the other thing is that although it's a 3-point game at the moment, most of that half it was a 10-12 point game between the two.
That's right.
So Windy City would draw away, Ann Arbor would catch up, and it's only just now that Ann Arbor have taken the lead. So, and it's normally important, but the halftime talk and the regroup and the strategy for the second half, absolutely crucial at this stage.
Right, because Ann Arbor is going in on a high, Windy City on a bit of a low.
Yep.
But you're right, that halftime talk can change that. Windy City can come out firing and do what they did early again and say, hey, we did a lot of things right in that first half. Let's do it again. It'll be, can't wait.
So we're going to go off and have our own little chat and re-strategize for the second half, and I think calm down, sort of go and go, okay, and we'll be back in about 13 minutes. I've been Dog Mistress.
I'm Sweet Willie T.